I've worked with you a couple of times with some farms where you were working through a mycoplasma elimination, and can you walk people through the approach to how you attack a mycoplasma elimination on a farm?
I think that's an interesting disease because if you go back to the early part of my career when it was known as enzootic pneumonia, we would have had populations through the SPF program that we would have identified as being mycoplasm negative. And then our industry lived with this pathogen and consequent disease for a number of years until the research actually got stimulated by Europe, where we could see that the pathogen could be eliminated, at least on a small-scale basis. And then when that information was recognized here in the U.S., and then research coming forth from Maria Peters and others that gave us an indication of how long an individual animal that was infected would shed that particular pathogen. And at the same time, looking at serology and exposure within herds, we recognize that one of the stabilizing populations were our introduction of mycoplasm negative gilts into a positive, even though it might be stable herd. Those gilts would then undergo infection, and with Dr. Peters' work, we recognize that those gilts themselves at farrowing as P1s would be a primary method of transmission to the young pig. Then the work came forth that showed that what was the cost or is the cost of mycoplasma pneumoniae, and whether it's singly or in combination of other viruses such as Persian influenza. So it heightened the cost of that particular pathogen and made us look at, is there a way that we could eliminate that from our populations? I think most of us, Laura, would say that when you have potential for multiple pathogens, you continue to look for the one that you can eliminate so that you take it out of the complex, and then you can start thinking about the next one. And so very common today for us to first expose replacement gilts to mycoplasm through an aerosol method. And we focus to get that completed before they are about 80 days of age, so that by the time they farrow, they're no longer shedding that pathogen to their offspring. Then that leads us to the elimination program, using a combination of the natural exposure, then herd closure for the 240 days, and at the end of that program, a intervention with antibiotics on the suckling pigs and generally the sow population. And pretty predictably will then result in a population where we've eliminated the pathogen from the sow population, the breed to wean population. Then, of course, we eliminate it with the downstream flow just by all out movement of animals. So it's been quite a success story for the industry, and it is picking up momentum where you could say, do we need to move to a broader-based program of elimination, and is it one that we can do locally and then by area and then by region? So I think looking forward, it opens up some really good opportunities.